Good morning. We're going to switch it up again. I think it's important to talk about one of my favorite subjects, violence. Now, violence is one of those words that as you pull it apart, at some point, using the threat of violence becomes a weapon in itself. And then being a victim of pretend that someone did violence to you by cussing you out is also another weapon that people use. So let's talk about it. Let's pull apart the word violence. Why I think it's so necessary for like the world and the growth and life. It's violent. Life is violent. Just start there. Violence is something that like started from birth. The first thing that happens when you're alive is they cut your umbilical cord. Violence right out the gate. And they used to smack the baby to make it breathe. Violence. They used to teach parents that the best way to have children was to beat the fucking brakes off them. Violence. And you say, we don't teach our kids that anymore. That's not true. Kids don't have any rights, they're property. And as arrogant or ignorant as you think I am with that statement, I guarantee how dumb you are by not understanding that it's true. And that's not a me problem. And I don't care that I called you dumb. Poor you for the verbal violence that you just experienced by clicking on my video. Boo hoo. You get it? Because, like, when people think violence, they think physical violence, that there's only one kind of violence, that there isn't mental violence, that there isn't psychological violence, that there isn't verbal violence. It's just physical violence. And if it's not physical violence and it's not technically violence and it doesn't fall under those parameters in which it can be legally dealt with. It's funny, the word violence, how it's used in so many different aspects to justify so many shitty behaviors. The only kind of violence that I find acceptable is to react with violence. And only to negative situations and only to the degree that it's needed to counterbalance what they thought they were going to fucking do, thought the narrative they were going to play, thought how they were going to talk to you, thought they were going to steal from you, thought they were going to get something over on you. That's when you put them in their place. However, it needs to be done. I don't care. I don't feel bad about it. Violence. The very concept of being willing to stand up for yourself. That's what violence really is. I can cuss you out all I want. That's not violence. That's me expressing my opinion without being civil or showing you any respect. But it's not violence. To do violence is to harm you. To harm you is to agree that you have no filters, that you don't have any thick skin, that you've never been cussed out before. There's a whole list of reasons why you can't claim verbal violence from me. No matter how much I've upset you or talked down to you or told you how it was or all the other things that have happened that's come out of my mouth, that's still my opinion. You see? Because to me, if you have the right to do something fucking stupid, I have the right to tell you, you are fucking stupid. And that's a form of violence. In fact, you could say that I run around this world absolutely willing to do violence at the moment's notice over the dumbest thing. Immediately shut it down. I am willing to tell you to go fuck yourself immediately. No breaks. Don't give a fuck how you feel about it. We can take it as far as a fist fight if you need to, but you can go fuck yourself for being dumb or being rude or being arrogant or being fucking childish or a number of things as an adult, no longer a child, you can't expect anyone to put up with your bullshit. That entitlement, that expectation is a you problem. It's not somebody else's problem. And if you act in a way, if you act in a fucking way that makes you a piece of shit, then you are a piece of shit. And I think somebody should tell you that you're a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck who it is. I think you need to be told when you're fucking up. And not only that, the idea that anyone has the right to bully over somebody else, that somehow your feelings are more important than the truth, that somehow how you view the world, as obscure as it is more important than how badly your obscure view is affecting other people. If you think that you're entitled to fuck other people's lives up because you can't educate yourself, you can't be bothered to understand yourself, you can't fucking grasp that being kind is better than being mean, you need to be punching your fucking mouth repeatedly until you can't speak out of it anymore, until the shit that you're spewing is gurgling through blood. That's how I feel about it. I wanted you to understand that all the kindness and all the peace comes with knowing that, like, this is a better way to do it than the violence that everybody else pretends doesn't exist in the world. You know how many people I've punched in the fucking mouth over the years? A lot. A lot. And I've been punched in the mouth. I lost his front tooth getting into this guy who was like 6'4" and 275 pounds. And I beat that motherfucker's ass and I lost a tooth over it. Broke my fucking hand. Shattered his fucking cheekbone. That's just one. I ain't tough. But I have a line. I'll lose a fucking tooth before I'll lose one fucking step to one motherfucker in this world. You can't take something from me that I've never had. And it's your version of self-respect. That's what it is. That's why violence isn't done. You have too much self-respect and you have too much to lose and you have no, bitch, you're a slave. And your fucking problem is you're justifying your shitty behaviors and your weak-minded fucking actions that's leading to other people that don't play by that game to fuck the world up. And then people like myself are targeted. Targeted for being willing to say, this is fucked up. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with this. I don't have to deal with this. I'm not fucking dealing with this. This isn't okay. And you got to be willing to do that, commit that fucking violence, keep that same fucking energy when they really got the screws on you. When you ain't got no legal right to do anything. When you ain't got no fucking nothing. You have nothing on your side except whether or not you're right. And whether or not you're going to put up with it. You're going to bow a fucking knee. See, because the thing isn't, to me, it's not about whether or not you can change circumstances in your life. I've spent a lot of time on this channel expressing to you a way to affect the world in a way that doesn't bring you karma. I don't know how else to explain it to you. I don't know how else to explain to you that following the philosophy, and hopefully you'll improve upon it. It's not like it's perfect, but the bones of it, to use that to be able to not have to do violence. Because the way a bunch of you live your life, the only way to deal with it's violence. I got to be honest with you. The way a lot of you hurt people and the way that you treat other people, you can have the shit kicked out of you. And I'm not the one. I'm not some fucking peace-loving Power Rangers motherfucker. I think a bunch of people need to have the fucking shit kicked out of them. I do. A lot of times I do it myself, verbally. I'll lay into somebody. I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do about it? You going to punch me in my mouth? Go ahead and give her a go. Because if you're not, what are you going to do about it? You're going to try to affect my life negatively and do something that's fucking illegal and fucked up and sideways and just keep at it and think you can get away with it? It doesn't work like that. Because sometimes violence is sitting completely still and completely silent and moving forward with plans that in the end allow you to do the maximum fucking damage, period. Crazy, right? And it's not a hate filled thing, but if violence is done to you and you don't do the equal and opposite reaction, which is love, right? Love is violence. Fucking violence. I love you so much, I'm gonna watch you fucking drown. I love you so much, I'm gonna watch you sabotage your entire life. And because I love you and I think you're perfect as you fucking are, I'm gonna watch you burn the house down around yourself and go, oops, and lift not one finger to put out the fire. Don't tell me love isn't violence. Don't tell me in any way, shape, or form that there's no aspect of humanity that isn't fucking violence. You can't tell me we're in some peaceful fucking world at all. We're in a fucking war zone. And it's not just physical. Oh no, some gangbangers have guns. Oh no, the mafias. Oh no, drug addicts on our streets. Oh no. Your Starbucks and sugar addictions are the same kind of violence. Working every day to make you sicker in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. That's literally violence done to you on a daily basis from a million different ways. And we all consider it advertising. We consider it things that we have to be comfortable. It's civilized society. It's fucking violence done to you daily. And not only that, but you choose to put your wrists out and let them be cut. You're sacrificing yourself. Even your fucking religions talk about sacrificing yourself in the now because you loved in heaven. Violence. The whole thing is violence. The whole thing is death cults. The whole thing is just fucking chaos. The whole world is fucking on tilt. Been that way. Never wasn't that way. Never wasn't that way. Violence. I fucking love violence. I love my ability when something's wrong to stand up and go, fuck you, we ain't doing it that way. I love the fact that if I need to, I could take these fucking fists and put them on your fucking face. I could take my boot and put it on your fucking throat. I love violence. I love that there is something I can do to protect myself from the fucking hate in this world. I love it. It was one of the easiest skills I ever mastered. Violence. It's really weird when you talk about it like this, right? When you use the very worded definition to describe life. Do you know how much violence has to be done for you to live in your little bubble where you think the fucking world revolves around you and you're only worried about your 9 to 5 and paying taxes and buying something fucking nice, you fucking tool clown? Violence is being done daily so you can have that illusion. And even children have to be hurt, if for no other reason, so you can have a fucking cell phone, you fucking clown. And look, yeah, I got a cell phone too. We all got cell phones, right? We all have blood on our hands. The difference is I accept the violence, and I do violence. You pretend it doesn't exist. You pretend in some way, shape, or form love or light is fucking real at all. You pretend in any way, shape, or form that if you want to protect yourself, you ain't gonna do it with violence. When your kids are being hurt, what the fuck you gonna do about it? You gotta choose what kind of violence you're gonna do, right? And I'm gonna use the court system because my kids are being hurt. That's all. I'm gonna do more violence with a lawyer than I could ever do in any other way, shape, or form, verbally or otherwise. The end result is important. It's not just the intent to protect. Okay, cool. But what was the end result? Did you actually protect? Did you actually defend? Was your reaction necessary to get the desired results that you want to see in the world? And as soon as you figure that out, as soon as you go, wait a minute, what did I just say? Sometimes violence is patience and simply sitting still and quietly while you set the fucking stage for the violence you want to see done. And the violence I've always wanted to see done every fucking time I've got involved is I've wanted the violence that someone else was doing to stop. You know what? You're never going to find a story of me. And Ben, there's all kinds of probably stories about me. There's all kinds of bullshit about me. I don't even care what people have said. It doesn't matter at all. But you'll never hear that I was a bully. You'll never hear a single story of me bullying anyone. Every story you would ever hear about me, if there was any way, like you could just go through my timeline of life somehow and just tap in and pull that person out of reality and sit them down and go, all right, tell me about what really happened. And they had to be honest with you. Every one of them would tell you how they fucked around and found out, how they decided to do something that was fucked up. And I saw it, heard it, felt it, was around it, something, and I put them down over it. I shut them down. I put my boot on their fucking neck. If you went through my entire life, and only God could judge me, right? But if you went through my entire life, you couldn't find any situation where I was a fucking bully. Not since I was a kid. You have to learn what's wrong and right. I used to bully my sister when I was a kid. And I know that. I understand that. I don't make excuses for my learning. You know, I don't even, and then they like stunted me as a kid. So it took me years to even get back to the point where I could go back to becoming mature as an adult mentally. You can become an adult without mentally becoming an adult because violence is done to you as a child and it stops your development. That's true. That happens. Psychology's proved it. But the idea that your feelings are more important than truth, you need to be verbally, at the very least, verbally bitch slapped repeatedly until you shut the fuck up with that wrong mindset. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know how else to explain to you that, like, if you're gonna act like a kid, you're gonna get spanked like a fucking kid. You're gonna act like an adult and act tough, you're gonna get punched in your fucking mouth. If you do some fucked up shit to my life, God will get you. Let me just say it clearly. I have a 100% track record of watching people fuck my life off and me just going, all right, well, so that area of my life is closed. Time to move on, put new things in it. And then hearing later that those very people that fucked with my life repeatedly, their life got fucked up, coincidentally. But it always happens, no matter the scenario. There's been quite a few of them. And only because I didn't participate. There's only been one time, I had to make a decision on whether or not I wanted to actively respond, like deal with it myself. You know what I mean? And I didn't. And that was like 12 years ago. That was way before I met a lot of Like, I just got out of this situation in my life I've been going through for a few years, and I still got another one going on. It's been going on for like a long time. But before all this shit that I'm dealing with right now, there was other shit. And before that, there was a whole nother scenario. And before that, there was a whole nother scenario. They go all the way back to when I was like 9 or 10. They start there and they go forward. And now we're 41. So we got 30 years of experiences of just what happened? I only needed one probably to, grow as a human. And I got all of them. It's like I was like, there's this list in life, right? And there's all these things that you can accomplish to try to become a better human being, right? This is my weird view of it. Remember, we're still talking about violence as philosophy. And I checked off all the things, and God was like, really? And I was like, yeah, and I'm going to beat the fuck out of everybody that stands in my way. And he was like, go get it. And I've been on that mission ever since. Because the only thing that's ever saved me is the violence, the ability to look at people dead in the face and go, fuck you, I'm out. Fuck you, I'm out. What are you going to do about it? Fuck you, I'm out. I'm not dead yet. You understand? My philosophy is 100% accurate. At least that part for sure I know. Because you don't even know who I've told you, fuck you, I'm out. What are you going to do about it? You have no idea the things that I put myself through. But this idea of violence, this idea that somehow, in some way, shape, or form, that violence isn't real or isn't necessary, that it isn't absolutely half of the whole, that it isn't literally the only thing that protects so many to even have a fucking elevated pinkies out opinion about anything. Billionaires only exist because of the violence that's been done to protect the markets that they use to make their money. Violence. The United States of America only exists because of how many people continually die every year to make sure it does. Violence. So I wanted to talk about violence. I'm going to come on here and make a little video about violence. Speak my piece, as it were. Also, I wanted everyone to, see another aspect of me and understand that, like, just because I choose to try and create a better thing in the world doesn't mean when I come up against something that's evil or fucking just wrong, that I won't go to whatever lengths it takes to destroy it. See, because while people feel entitled to do things like that, I feel entitled to beat the fucking brakes off them in whatever capacity I can manage. And sometimes it just means telling somebody to fuck off. And sometimes that means burning down in a whole fucking legion of people. Whatever the exact amount of effort that needs to be put into to get the exact desired end result. Nothing else matters. My end result that I desire is peace and beauty in the world. And it's going to happen because I'm willing to go to whatever level of fucking war is needed to achieve that peace. I think it's got some people shook. I think probably my very mindset and the things that I put forth in these videos got some people fucking shook. Because there's some people that know me, and there's some people out there that all they do is just badmouth me. Most of them I've never even met. So, I just wanted to bring out the other side of peace. It's war. And war is always needed because the very second we stop playing at war, we'd have to play at peace. And nobody seems to want to play at peace. Everyone seems to want to be in motion on a destructive pathway. It's really weird that by creating, I'm doing more fucking violence than I've ever seen somebody do with their hate. I'm doing more psychological damage, more emotional damage, more mental damage, and eventually, as everything comes to light, more physical damage than anyone with all the people with all their hate put together that I collected like trading cards. All of those people going in the trash. Trash. Because I'm willing to do violence at whatever level is necessary to accomplish peace and love. I'm going through a thing right now. My kids have been taken from me. So I'm going to sit quietly and have a lawyer deal with the whole situation and do nothing else. Not try to contact, not try to, none of it. Am I sad a little bit? Am I angry and ready to do violence? To the best of my legal abilities in a court of law. So take it to heart. Leave it here. It's your choice. You don't got to talk about it. You want to share it out? Share it out. Want to hate on me? Hate on me. I don't mind. I'm collecting like baseball cards. But I'll tell you, you're talking to a guy that absolutely, at the drop of a hat, is willing to commit whatever level of violence is necessary to keep peace and sanity. And if you get to that mindset, I'm not a violent person. I don't run around creating violence. I don't run around cussing people out. I don't. None of these things. I'm polite and kind and considerate and charismatic, whatever that word is. Charismatic. I don't know. I'm always playing with words like they matter. Don't count violence out of your life. I think it's very important to have this mindset that you're not doing wrong by standing up for yourself. You're not doing wrong by standing up for other people. You're not doing wrong when you put down fucking bad people. You're not. And the idea that someone would tell you that they would pass a law, that there would be a woke mindset, that there would be groups of people and fucking preachers and everything. The fact that anybody would tell you that it's not okay for you to fucking defend yourself, punch that person in the mouth too. Fuck that person. Fuck their group of people. Fuck their mindset. Fuck everything they stand for. Fuck everything they've done to your life. Fuck them. They made you less than you are. Because they know that the army doing the violence right now for you to have that shitty opinion of yours that they taught you. They know if violence stops, then they can't control how you look at things and how you act. There's a lot of power in violence. Violence is the ability to choose violence in any circumstance if it is needed, warranted. And then discernment to understand exactly how much is needed to get it fucking done. Violence is a fucking superpower for human beings to interact with reality. We destroy things we don't like. We destroy mindsets we don't like. We destroy people we don't like, don't we? So don't tell me that as a human being, I don't get to destroy your ability to make my life miserable. And you can't mentally. All you can do is take physically. It's been a long time since somebody's physically tried to harm me. I always approach those encounters with joy. I've been known to laugh in the middle of a battle. Maybe I'm broken, I don't know. But a psychologist will try to tell you that violence is bad in all ways, shape, or form. You shouldn't even cuss people out and you're traumatizing them and everything else. Meanwhile, they completely subscribe to a society and a system that sends 18-year-old children to fucking war. And when they come home, they don't really take care of veterans at all. And you all fucking know it. So, how can a psychologist tell you that violence is bad and that you're hurting someone with your words? And the only reason they have an office and a job and the ability to tell you that and a set of rules and parameters in place is not because of one war, some war a long time ago, and we won and became evolved. We have been fighting wars since I've been alive. There's been a war going on. Somebody's been dying since I fucking came to this earth. Every one of those wars has involved the United States. Every fucking one of them. Why does our society teach the opposite of what we're actually doing to make sure society fucking runs? Does anyone else see a problem with the fact they're trying to take away your ability to choose violence? Instead of discernment and meditation and balance and all those things so you can properly use violence to fix the world, violence itself is simply something that you're supposed to get rid of within yourself and be kind and gentle and meek. That's so they can bend you over and fuck you whenever they want, you dumb motherfucker.